Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rune Snow. Today we're going to do Magic the Gathering locations, and we're going to talk about the famous Null Moon. So, believe it or not, the Null Moon was actually created by the Thran Empire on the plane of Dominaria. It is actually not the planet itself, but actually a satellite or a moon orbiting Dominaria. The Null Moon has many such names, such as Glimmer Moon, Null Sphere, Bright Moon, and Lesser Moon, or Laterio. It was later used to measure the passage of time by some civilizations, the most prominent culture known as the Shingal. The purpose of the Null Moon was to control the Empire's artifact warriors, who were the creation for the Thran people as mentioned before. But sadly, during the Thran Civil War, Yawgmoth had taken over the Null Moon and used the artifact creatures to his advantage. The operators rebelled eventually in time against Yawgmoth and sacrificed themselves, thus putting the sphere into orbit around the planet. When this happened, his magic had begun to not work on the Null Moon, and therefore his army could be destroyed. After the war, the Null Sphere actually remained in orbit, and its purpose was lost over time. It did serve as the meeting place once for the event known as the Planeswalker Summit, which was led by the Planeswalker Fairlin, which then began the Planeswalker War. But around 9,000 years after it was put into the orbit, it was used to defeat Yawgmoth once again. Since it was in orbit for that long, it actually built up lots of white mana. The legendary creature known as Gerard had taken the famous ship Weatherlight to the far side of the moon. He used the ship to go through the center of the moon, channeling all the white mana to defeat Yawgmoth, who was essentially a god at that point. This course of action with the Null Moon did not kill him, unfortunately. And thus, the Null Moon now has a huge hole in the center that is still in orbit and does not glimmer, as it would once as a result of all the white mana being released. And that is currently all the information we have on Null Moon at the moment. So I'm not going to say much more, and I'm not going to add any music or anything. So we're going to go show you some cards that have in the background the Null Moon, and there are actually quite a few cards from past and the present. And like I said, I'm not going to do any music, I'm not going to talk, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.